Oh, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, outsiders of all ages, it's time for another edition of The Outsiders. We are glad you're joining us. We debut on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Got one show for you this week because it was San Jose State and it's going to be UTEP. So here we go. We are The Outsiders, brought to you by Poncho. Remember, ponchooutdoors.com. Longhorn fans, if you think your team's going to win the Natty, you can get the Natty back guarantee. Get it by October 1st. If they win it all, you get a refund. And remember, no matter what you order, go ponchooutdoors.com/outsiders for $10 off your first order. Our man Chance Mock is on the road this week. Nice enough to join us. Mock 5. Bo Edge, the country gorilla, is with us. He is AI Jason Dick. Shout out to Jason Dick. Hope he's with us next week. Unable to join us this week. Let's jump into it, gentlemen. 38-7 was the final score. I feel like there are things that were, for a lot of Longhorn fans, there were certainly things that were good, and there were also things that maybe that fans weren't that interested in. Where the heck do we start with this one? Bo, let me start with you.
I'm trying to think of what was good. The kicker made his kick, so let's go Mason Shipley. That was pretty salty. And there was about a 5-minute stretch where every ball bounced our way and penalties weren't called against us, and it was a magical land of unicorns. But other than that,
you won by 31, and your defense looked pretty badass.
Well, if a 6A high school team plays a 2A high school team at their house, sometimes they don't have to try that hard to win decent size. When we lost, Chance didn't like it, so he just said, "Screw it." No,
Chance is just out, right?
He's like, "No, you're not going to disparage it. 38 was enough."
That was an audible there. You see that?
Yeah, he hit it check quickly, but no,
he's trying again.
It was a ho-hum performance. It was we know we're going to win, so we're not there was nothing that was great about it. And the same problems that existed against Ohio State actually, to me, regressed on some of them. Like some of the things that were bad against Ohio State were worse against San Jose State, because when you're playing a team like San Jose State, the penalties should not be happening. You should, there are certain penalties that are a byproduct of the game. Okay, you know you're going to get, if you're playing a pass-happy team, you're going to get a PI or a defensive holding at some point, because that's just how it's going to work. If they throw it 45 times, it's going to happen. You know what you can control? Pre-snap motion and personal fouls for dumbassery, like offsides. Those you can control. An occasional hold, it happens. PI happens. But these type of things are indicative of a team that's not performing at the level it needs to reach the goals that it wants to.
All right, Bo Edge, not a happy man. Chance Mock, we got kind of a weird connection, but I do want to hear from you. What did you make of it? 38-7, it's a win, or it's a win, take it and run? What do you think?
Well, I'm going to do the best I can up here in West Michigan. By the way, it's 59 degrees, in case y'all wanted to be a little jealous.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
no need.
No, look, I want to start with the high point. And as the self-appointed president of the Parker Livingstone fan club, we need to put out a bulletin that his name is not Livingston. His name is Livingstone. And know that man's name.
Chance, I thought you were right. Ketch sent me the pronunciation guide he found that apparently Livingston is right, and Joe Tess and Palmer were right.
Well, as the president of the fan club, I'm saying no.
Okay, you're going the other way. I like it.
Hold on.
I like it. It'll drive me crazy.
Fan club, you need to call the young man and tell him that he's got to drop the E, if not, because there's no silent, sneaky E in our football players' last names. No way, no how.
Bo. Vince Young came to the University of Texas as Vincent Young, and the name was changed for him. So I'm taking the responsibility of Parker Livingstone was a huge bright spot, and he has been in 2 games, okay?
Yeah.
He's been in 2 games. But to piggyback on Bo's, I feel like this is a very uninspired team. And I don't – look, these are things that can get worked out. But they look like a team that read their press clippings. And they look like a team that's not focused on the goal. And there's been a lot of hype and a lot of things around the program that maybe have distracted them, and maybe they're not as hungry as they were 2 years ago to come out and prove something. They walked into the SEC, ended up in the SEC championship game, and I think maybe they thought it was going to be a little bit easier this year. Okay? Now, that being said, Colin Simmons cannot jump off sides. We need to have Wingo catching balls that hit him in the hands. We can't be completely blowing coverages. We can't have unnecessary holding penalties. We have to do the little things right. And that's what's disappointing to me, is that the talent is there, the ability is there, the execution is not. Comes down to discipline. It's hard. We're going to come out with our hair on fire, looking to absolutely dominate. And we came out with a game plan that once again looked kind of blah. Like, it was very meh, the whole thing.
And Chance, I think you and I are kind of in lockstep in the lackadaisical attitude, but there are some guys that do deserve credit in watching the first two games. Some of the, like, this is the funniest part of how this season is broken out to me. Some of the most maligned guys from last year's UT team, from last year's, Final Four team, are now the ones that are getting it done the most. Manny Muhammad had to cover Jeremiah Smith and then was targeted one time in that game. They just decided they're not going his direction. LaFau, maybe he should be playing, maybe he shouldn't, maybe it should be Anthony Smith. No, they're both balling. It's the guys that are the ones that are supposed to be the super magazine covered draft eligible guys that are reading their press clippings. And there may be something to this in my mind. Maybe I'm just a little nutty. It's the two that can't go pro this year. It's the two that are going to have to stay one more year that may have got a little more in this NIL world. They're already cashing $1 million checks, and they're a little comfortable because there's nowhere to go.
Man, it's interesting. All right. So very, very strong opinions off of a 38-7 win. Bo, you just mentioned some of the big, the big moments from some of the big guys on defense. Chance did mention the Colin Simmons deal. Little weird for me, guys, that Steve Sarkisian this week called out both of his number ones as in jersey numbers. He basically said both of them are trying too hard, pressing too hard. Chance, that was a little disturbing for me. Y'all know I'm all about jerseys and helmets and uniforms and all that stuff. Both of them chose to wear number one, changed their jersey to number one, and they're both just starting this season so flat. I don't get it. I'm trying to understand what I'm watching with Simmons and Wingo. One's supposed to be wide receiver number one. We'll find out if he is. And the other is supposed to be the weapon on defense. And he hasn't really been that either.
No, he hasn't. And here's the thing that gets me. And I have no doubt that these kids want it. And I don't want to disparage them. And I'm not trying to be negative, Nelly. Like, a win is a win, and we'll take it. And there is a lot to be worked out between now and the time we go to Gainesville. Okay, and Gainesville, they've got their own problems. All right,
Yeah.
still gonna be a hell of a battle, but they got their own problems. And then I just tell you, I watched an Oklahoma team on Saturday night that is not as talented as this Texas team. But I watched that defense run around like just madmen. The effort level on Saturday night looked at a different level, and I get it. You're playing Michigan. It's a primetime game. It's a night game. I understand all that, San Jose. But you just came off a loss, right? Like, I thought it would have been a lot more inspired. That's kind of where I came away Saturday night, is going, I just wish Texas would have what felt like the same urgency that OU has. OU got embarrassed last year, and they feel like a team that's coming out and going, we got something to prove, whereas Texas feels like they played like that team last year, and this year it feels like they thought they were just going to walk in and beat people.
Well, but Chance, look at the last few games the Texas defense has played, and I realize it's 2 different years, but both games against Georgia, even the game against Ohio State that was a loss, the let-ups happened when they were playing teams that they thought were beneath them. Last week against Ohio State, that defense acquitted itself quite well. Like, could they have made, like, I saw the write-up from Catch and others saying, well, if they're an elite defense, they cause turnovers. They held Ohio State to 14 points at their house in an opener. That should have been enough. If you can't score 14, you don't deserve to win. This isn't 1962. So I don't know if I think there's a difference between how the defenses come out in these two games and how the offenses come out.
Well,
the offense has been flat.
It's unimaginative. We've got, and I'm going to be real honest. I don't see a whole lot of separation on these receivers. Now, part of that is schematics. Part of it is Arch is not throwing guys open, whereas Quinn, hey, all you guys that said Quinn sucked, Quinn did a damn good job at throwing guys open. He threw them into a space and let them go get the ball. He would get the ball out of his hand before they came out of their break. That's not happening with Arch yet. It will. And again, this is not a bash session. This is, I heard Nick Saban one time say you learn so much more after a loss than you do after a win, and that's true. You never waste a loss. Well, last week we had a loss. Well, this week, look, we got a win. We played San Jose State. They didn't have a prayer, okay? We knew that. They knew that. The game ended not as bad as it should have, to be honest with you. And so I think it's fine. We're in a position to work through some things right now, and they need to work through some things.
Chad, you've been saying this for 15 years, and I know Chance will remember this. There are ways that the score can be 38-7 in this instance, or even way lower, like 24-7. But you just watched the game and you knew that the one team wasn't ever going to be able to move the football. There was no worries. Nick Saban used to choke people out like that. Like, it didn't have to be fireworks on offense to show dominance. If you watched this game, there were moments that San Jose State could have hit big plays. There were moments that San Jose State could have done a lot of things. And the only reason Texas got 38 is because there was a magic 5-minute stretch with 4 turnovers. Like, Texas scored 4 touchdowns in a span of 6 minutes. And that was because of some turnovers that maybe shouldn't have been, like Anthony Hill just straight up punching a dude in the head and the ball comes out. Good for us. But there was nothing even – the defense looked way better against Ohio State than it did against San Jose State. Even though in this game they had more turnovers and more sacks and more whatever, they were doing what Chance described, flying to the ball, striking fear in their opponent. Like, it was good on good. This was a bunch of 8th graders playing tag football with 2nd graders, and that it was going to happen.
All right, it is the Outsiders. We'll continue to talk about this one. Let's get a little bit of thanks to our great partners. We're going to start with the good folks at Covert Ford. Here's Kimberly.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Covert, and since 1909, the Covert family has been committed to Austin's community. For 116 years, we've grown with Texas, driving progress, building trust, and serving the Austin community. Whether it's the all-new 2025 F-150 or the versatile 2025 Ford Maverick, we're here to help you find the perfect fit, just like we've done for generations. At Covert Ford, it's more than cars. It's about family, service, and a legacy of trust. Visit covertford.com and become part of our story.
Yes, indeed. Texas 1-1 after the win, getting ready for UTEP 3:15 kick. Remember to come see us at TCH Social Austin for that 3:15 kick. Come watch it on that giant ass screen. Have some of that great food. Bad beat bacon, unbelievable. We'll be doing the watch party there once again. Gentlemen, any good news that your coach and your quarterback see a lot of what you guys are seeing? I'm not hearing a lot of delusion out of those guys. They both seem to understand it. Your quarterback used the word sloppy twice in the post-game interview when he was given a chance to just brag. He was given a chance to just, go on about his team if he wanted to in a 31-point win. He didn't want any part of that. Chance. Did you like that at least?
I do. And I want to reiterate that this is not a bash session. This is just what I see with my eyes on a team that I think has enough talent to make a run at a national title like we talked about, and a team that is not playing to and Sark talks about it all the time, playing to their standard. We all understand that, it's hard to win. We get that. But, there's a lot of people out there doing it every day, and they've got a lot more creativity. So it's not a criticism of the team as much as we know what you're capable of, and we just want to see that what it is. And I feel like, at some point, I have to be careful because Sark is really good at what he does. But I think if there is a criticism of Sark, it is his in-game play calling, and sometimes he gets a little too cute, and sometimes he's a little too damn conservative. Like you put everything in your pocket for so long, waiting for that one moment. Well, yeah, you have those plays, but just open it up and go wide open. I don't want to. Probably one of the best football games that we'll see this season was last night. And the difference between Joe Brady early in the game calling screens. I mean, look at the game was. When Joe Brady was calling these dinky screens and run on first down, run on second down, and then a screen on third down, we're getting just blown away. But when you let Josh speed it up, go do 2 minute, let him be a football player, look what happened. And I think you see the same thing at Texas. When you get going fast and you let Arch get into rhythm and let Arch be Arch, what happens? Good things happen. I think we have to stop putting the training wheels on ourselves and like take the gloves off and let's go play and let's see what your dudes can do.
As always, Chance Mock's comments brought to you by the Buffalo Bills, his favorite NFL team that got
Am I wrong?
That got the first ever 41-40 victory in NFL history. I can't believe that's a real thing, but apparently that's a real thing.
Somebody right down here won week 1 of the 33 board.
Is that you? That's you. Oh, did you?
He had the Indianapolis Colts, and when I told him he had the Colts, he goes, well, why do I have a team that can't score 33? And then first week, here's your payout, sir.
Look at that. That is fantastic. All right. Normally we get you the Mock 5 top 5 this week.
Flew himself to Michigan.
This week, because Chance is in Michigan, and as you see, a little bit of a limited connection. We don't want to shortchange the Mock 5 top 5, but we also don't want to fail to tell you about Integro Construction Services. So Bo's going to tell you about it. We'll continue the Texas discussion. We'll have a Mock 5 top 5 next week. But Bo, tell them about Integro and what they can do for them.
The Go Nano technology is like a steroid shot for your roof. It makes your roof rejuvenated. It adds years of life, 5, 10, sometimes even 15 years of life added to your roof. It takes one day. They come in, they apply this Go Nano right on your roof. They'll get there and they'll be gone at the end of the day. And unlike a roofer that leaves nails in your yard or trash or whatever, you don't ever have to worry about that. The price of the Go Nano is less than your deductible, unlike when you have to get your roof replaced and deal with all that nightmare. Integro is the only licensed dealer of the Go Nano technology here in Central Texas. Give them a call, 987-1273. That's 987-1273. And don't just stop there on the Go Nano. We tell you about that every single week. If you have a major construction project around your house or business, Integro can help you there too. Whatever you need from a construction angle, Integro Construction Services, licensed dealer of Go Nano.
Shout out to Integro. And again, they bring us the Mock 5 top 5 each and every week. Again, we will not put Chance through a Mock 5 top 5 this week. Frankly, much like the Texas offensive plan, going to be a little more simple this week. Just a little bit more simple. But Chance, I will ask it this way. As you look into this next game, offensive side of the ball, again, your quarterback said sloppy multiple times. I agree with him. Your head coach, when asked this week, what is the thing you like about your offense the most? Did y'all catch his answer? A little scary. His answer was, they're coachable. And then he listed all the negatives. After that, Chance, tell me what you want first, whether it's first 3 drives or first 10 minutes or however you want to look at it. Like, what do you want to see against UTEP that will help you exhale? Because I know you and all Texas fans are kind of waiting to exhale with this offense. What gets you to do it?
I want, if I could see Steve Sarkisian come out as 22-year-old Mike Tyson from the first bell, come out swinging, have some fun. Let these guys go have fun again. Quit trying to jab and see what they're going to do. Let's take the training wheels off. let Arch go have fun. How many times have we heard people say, yeah, they said when Arch is having fun, that's when he's at his best. When he's at his okay, well, let's freaking go have fun. How about that? How about we get some motions? How about we get some creativity? Let's open this thing up. Let the guys go play football and have some fun and see what happens.
Bo, what do you think?
Well, that's part of the angle, but I want to see Sark act like Dan Lanning and Oregon did last week. And like Oregon honestly has for many, many years, Mike Gundy ran his mouth about NIL money and how his team was at a big deficit because they couldn't pay for everything like Oregon did. So did Dan Lanning and Oregon cower and just try to keep the score close? No, they went the other way and ran it up 69-3. That's what I want to see. No, sorry, UTEP, you can't even get Last Stand to put you on their website because you're not good enough to warrant having a hat. Like, you're UTEP. Like, this isn't Texas Western back in the basketball days winning a natty. No. It's UTEP. Treat them like UTEP. Like, I'm sorry, and this comes off really bad, I'm sure, but there's no reason to be nice in this game. And if you don't want to do it with your starters when you get up 35-3, then put in the backups and let them do it. But this, like, you need to get right. Like, Chance used to talk about it.
Did Alabama, did they put the brakes on after they got embarrassed?
No.
Oh, no. No. And another comment I like this week, guys, from Sark was he sort of intimated that there are some backups and maybe even some starters that were, I guess, concerned that certain backups didn't get more reps. And his response to all those guys was, we'll play better. Like, you know, it'd be like if Chance, if you back in the day, you had a boy, one of your boys was a backup, right? Was a backup receiver, backup whoever. And you'd be like, man, coach, I really wish so-and-so could play more. And it's like, well, Chance, go out there and perform like we need you to perform, get this offense rolling, and then maybe we'll sit you down and let your guy play.
Well, if y'all remember the very first season that we did this, the last year at the Big 12, we had a conversation about that with Roy Williams and how it was almost like we made it a game to see how quickly the starters could get off the field.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
We were trying to knock you out early to see how fast we can get the starters off the field. That's how we approached it. And I just don't feel like, and I don't know, I have to be careful with how, because Sark is doing so much right, and I don't want this to be negative, but, you know, since he's been here, we haven't seen the big, like, let's go blow people out. We've seen a very professional NFL style, like, we're going to go and we're going to punch, and then we're going to come at halftime, and we're going to make adjustments, and then we're going to come out and beat you. And that's what they've done, as opposed to we're about to come out and just whoop your ass from the first bell.
Yeah. Now, hold that thought, Chance. I have a follow-up question there. But since Bo made the reference, let's go ahead and just do a check, shall we? Let's talk a little Last Stand hats. We're going to start with the Texas part of it, and we're going to give a shout-out to a Texas team that just had a nice win. Not yet. You'll know it. There they are. How about that Texas volleyball team? Big time win over Stanford, 5 sets, the whole thing. Go get you a great hat there. They have all kinds of awesome stuff at Last Stand. I'll just scan for you. Just a lot of good Texas stuff there for you. Also, if you go up to the top here, you can check out a little Get My Card. That's right. Go after that lifetime membership card if you like. It'll get you 30% off everything forever and all those other great amenities. And since Bo mentioned it, and it is the opponent this week, let's go ahead and check. Nope, not Sam. That's later. It's UTEP. Let's check it. Nope. Not that this week. There was no chance. No way. They're not going to start this week with Last Stand. Are you crazy? No. Not this week. Not this week. They've got those Outsiders hats for you. Use the code Outsiders10 when you order those or anything else. 12 different color combinations of the Outsiders. Legitimately worth a shit hat. Okay, Chance Mock, you just said something that kind of piqued my interest. Devil's advocate. to what you just said, to the idea that it needs to sometimes have that feel of what Oregon did to Oklahoma State and old school Spurrier and all that. With a 12-team playoff constructed like we have it now, why does it need to be like that in 2025? Why do you still feel like those kind of style point games matter? And if so, why do they matter?
Because it's not about the style point. It's about this team getting the momentum it needs to go into a stretch where they're going to play a lot better teams. It's about them clicking, about them getting confidence in what they're doing, about the coaching staff getting confidence in the players to execute the plays so that Sark feels good about going out and calling bigger plays, calling more, having more up-tempo, more exciting stuff. It's about them having the confidence that when they call that, we're going to go execute. Because I'm telling you right now, have no doubt about it. They're not going to say it in public. Maybe they will. I don't know. There's doubts in the heads of some of those players right now. There's doubts. And you need to get those doubts out of the mind. And you know what? I'm telling you right now, Alabama, they took their lumps against Florida State. They feel damn good coming off of 73-0. They start going, okay, look, it was the first week. We knocked the cobwebs off. Yeah, we got our ass kicked, but there's a lot of opportunities with this 12 team. Like you said, that 12-team playoffs. This is about us. It's about us getting back on track to what we need to do and start laying the foundation to build into that stretch of the season that you're going to need to be clicking on all cylinders.
Well, and Chad and Chance, you're familiar with the not our standard reference, or, people say play to a standard. It didn't have to be 73-0 in Texas versus San Jose State, but the eyeball test does matter here. Like, not to the polls and not to the 12-team playoff, to the coaches, to the team, to the fans, to everyone that watched that. If you walked out of that game and said, damn, that's a national championship type team, I can't drink anymore, but if I could, I'll be 60 days sober when this hits the air, which I'm like, hey.
There you go. Come on, Mo.
Yippee. And I completely lost my train of thought.
He started, Chance, did you see that? He started dreaming about whiskey. Did you see him dreaming about whiskey right there? It's like,
okay, I got it. Okay, yes, and I was dreaming about whiskey because it's really good, even though I can't drink it. But the thing is if you can win 35-3 and have it look like you sledgehammered them to death, or 38-7, but anybody that watched it, that wasn't it. San Jose State missed multiple deep shots where the guy was open. Their quarterback just sucked. And they called the EGATs the Mannings of Southern California. And I almost spit my soda out because that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Because two brothers were the quarterback for one high school. They're now the Mannings of, come on. But they were not a good football team. And we made them look like other than that stretch, and we all know what stretch I'm talking about in that second quarter area, we didn't look dominant. We looked like the team that was winning. We looked like the team that was keeping things, going. But Parker Livingstone, and it was a good play. And I had a debate today whether Arch underthrew it on purpose because he saw the safety coming, and that way he led him to the inside instead of leading him into contact and a hit, which makes it an even better throw. But that throw didn't make that safety trip over his own damn feet and allow Livingston to go 80-plus yards. It's like last year against Ole Miss or against Mississippi State. When the safety and the corner run into each other and the receiver's wide open, that doesn't mean we're great. It just means they suck.
Wow. All right. There it is. Just trying to find stuff to build on here after
but as says, we're not trying to be problematic. We're trying to be constructive criticism. We need to do better.
Not trying to be negative. We're not trying to be negative. Don't want to be negative, Chance. Nope. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Wow. Texas, 38-7. They won the game. We remind you, we are the Outsiders, brought to you by Poncho Outdoors. Let's take a look at that list of teams. We start, of course, with Texas. Again, it's the Natty Back guarantee. If your team wins the championship, you're getting a refund on your shirt. You just got to get one of these shirts with Texas. You get 3 choices. Look for that Natty Back Football and order before October 1st. There are 9 other teams. If you believe one of these 9 teams is going to win the Natty, hey, if you're an Oklahoma fan or you know one, maybe you think after what they look like against Michigan, maybe that's the shirt to order if you're an OU fan. It's not, but maybe it is. You order that, Natty Back guarantee, win the title, get your refund. Check it out, ponchooutdoors.com. And again, go ponchooutdoors.com/outsiders for $10 off your first order. Always a good way to go. All right, we want to thank Chance Mock for coming on with us from Michigan. Chance, have a great trip. Enjoy yourself. Stop bragging about the weather because it's just mean. But yes, Bo Edge, congratulations on almost 60 days of sobriety. You're the man. Well done.
Oh, no, we're not going there.
You are the country gorilla, and we're always glad to see you. And thank you guys for enjoying Orange Bloods Live. If you're joining us in that 10 o'clock hour on Tuesday when we premiere, we appreciate you. Or whenever you're joining us throughout the week, we thank you for doing it. Check out the channel. We are, I think, almost to 140,000 subscribers, which is crazy to say. Thank y'all for getting us there. Remember, can't get to 8 million unless you get to 140,000. And y'all are going to help us get to that next one. Thank you so much for that. We will be back next week. It'll be another one of those games. It'll be Sam week. That's right. I couldn't even say it without smiling. So we'll go Tuesday again, premiered at 10 o'clock. What's that?
Last Stand has a Sam Houston line.
Last Stand does have the Sam Houston stuff.
They've warranted it that.
We'll look at that next week, although you will not see a Sam Houston helmet behind me next week because I don't have one of those. That's a whole nother story. Thank you for liking, subscribing, getting the notifications. We'll be back for that one next week. Check out the channel and all we've got for you. Thank you all for your support. This is Orange Bloods Live. And until next time, we are the Outsiders, and we are, unlike that Texas offense at times, legitimately worth the shit. See ya.